My colleague just asked if our birth rate was declining here in America, and the answer was yes. Well, of course it is. We have nearly 1 million abortions in our country a year, over 60 million abortions since this has been illegal. And if that's an issue, well, then we need to address that. If we want an incline in our birth rate, well, let's look at our own country first, rather than putting folks in the hands of the cartel and putting their lives in danger so they can do, as my colleagues on the other side of the aisle say, pick our fruit, pick our crops. Aren't the folks who are coming here to seek the American dream deserving of the American dream? Or are they only deserving to clean our toilets, fold our beds in our hotels, the sheets, and pick our crops? I think the American dream is worth much more than that, and that's why we are the most generous nation in the world when it comes to legal immigration, accepting nearly 1 million legal immigrants each year.
And per usual, Lauren Boebert does an absolutely terrible job attempting to mask what she's actually saying.
They want to grant amnesty and a path to citizenship to 8 million illegal aliens. Yes, there is definitely a replacement theory that's going on right now. We are killing American jobs and bringing in illegal aliens from all over the world to replace them if Americans will not comply with the tyrannical orders that are coming down from the White House. This Democrat bill puts America dead last, and sadly, this is what Americans have come to expect from Trader Joe's regime. Our southern border is completely open. We've witnessed a disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan and one unconstitutional mandate after another. These actions will have lasting consequences at a high, high price tag.
Now, this replacement theory that I'm going to tell you about right now fixates specifically on immigration. It starts with a claim to an allegedly neutral position, the claim that, well, most countries set limits on immigration, and that can include some type of standards for who is admitted to the country. Okay, true enough. Then it pivots into white supremacist racism, arguing that countries like France or the U.S. are inherently white, so immigration limits must patrol against any racial minorities or foreigners to stop them from, quote, replacing the allegedly current white residents.
Replace the current electorate with new people, more obedient voters from the third world.
You will not replace us! You will not replace us!
This is a purposeful resettlement.
White replacement theory? No. This is a voting rights question.
It's going to be millions of illegal immigrants into the United States.
They're coming to a neighborhood near you. We are being invaded. They're coming to our backyard.
It's your country.
And this is the result of that sort of endless rhetoric coming from people like Lauren Boebert and the right wing itself.
Welcome! You're not welcome! You're illegal! Let
I think if they were Republican voters, they'd be stopped.
The Latinas at the border?
Yeah, I think, and I think 4,000 Latinas coming in less than a month before the midterm elections. It didn't just happen. It wasn't a grassroots overnight decision. I mean, it took some planning and somebody's behind it.
What would solve the whole thing in the border if they would just start shooting? Only shoot a couple and they would go home.
You think deterrence would work?
If they would shoot.
Just like the rest of the right wing, she's using the replacement theory because, the Democrats are letting in all these colored brown people from the southern border to replace all the good God-fearing evangelical white Republican voters. Because, undocumented individuals have social security numbers. No, that's not a thing. That doesn't happen. Lauren Boebert blaming the declining birth rate just on abortion is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look, listen, that would mean that, basically all the women are getting abortions left and right. That's all they do. But anyone who knows women who have gotten an abortion or gone through that knows that it's really not an enjoyable experience. It's not something women are typically excited about. But more importantly, people aren't having as many children these days because we don't need to. We don't live in an agrarian society. We don't need 10, 12, 15 children to run the farm so that we can survive. Child death rates aren't as high as they used to be. Death rates for mothers giving birth aren't as high as they used to be. They're not where they need to be, especially when you look at black women. But again, society has progressed such that people live longer. We don't need as many kids, and people can't afford it. The economy is a huge factor that goes into that. So it was just fun looking at Lauren Boebert being completely incorrect as usual.